Welcoming you back to Crypto's Juiciest News, baby dolls. I didn't want to leave you hanging without an episode today, so I've had to do it a bit earlier than expected. I've got a lot of juicy content coming your way. We can't do immediate short-term shorty make short-term pricey make price action, but we don't really need to. I've got a lot of juicy content coming your way. We've got plenty of us to look at here. We are looking at, friends, a monthly candle of BTC. No matter what we do, we're staying red this month. Okay, we've just accepted it. Okay, and if we go back to the previous bull markets, I think it's very important just to think about what did Bitcoin do to finish itself off in a family-friendly way, of course. How did it finish itself off in 2021? It did 6 green candles in a row. In 2017, I believe Ethereum did 6 in a row, but Bitcoin did 5 in a row, stalled one out, and then 3 in a row again. What did we see, though, this year? We saw 1, 2, 3, 4 right after Trump tariff tantrum. I know, it seems a bit of like a pleb move. You're like, hey, just counting the color of the candles. Yes, you'd be surprised how much alpha there is in actually just counting the color of the candles. Psychologically, when people just see something that just keeps going up, they just want to get in. It doesn't even matter if it's up 10,000x or 10x or 15%. As long as it just keeps going up month to month, it attracts more and more weak hands. You need a big reset. We actually did get a big reset, 2 red candles. So we're going to see, friends, in December, as we move into December, I think it's very important before we crack on with some big stuff. December 1st, the US Fed officially ends QT. We know about that, right? It's literally December 1st. Now, even when we're looking at something like cryptocurrency, which is an industry where people say, people need to drop everything and go seek Jesus in here all the time. But it does have a bit of quirks to it. In the last cycle, back before anybody even knew what the hell QE was in crypto, it's very interesting that the OTHERS-BTC, which is a ratio of Bitcoin and altcoins, right? It's altcoin others versus Bitcoin. So if this thing is moving up, altcoins are getting stronger. This, when QT ended, right here, it had already started moving up. Okay, this is the most fascinating thing of all. You're gonna have a real appreciation for these, friends. I know it's very tough to go through these times, but you gotta think like, whoa, before anybody knew what QT was. You gotta remember, friends, when we're going back to August 2019, we didn't even have DeFi season yet. There was nothing. It was literally Ponzi stuff. Ethereum was known as an ICO wasteland of trash. You had all these projects that raised money in the bull market and they were just dumping the bottoms. That's why a lot of people are kind of scared. They think, are the digital asset treasuries, are they going to be dumping all their Bitcoin and Ethereum down in these lows? I don't think so. Okay, I think there will come a time for that. I just don't think so yet. But there probably will be a time. That's why I've been predicting this, expecting this for a long time. But when I look at the digital asset treasuries, friends, I don't think they're weak hands, man. I don't see that many weak hands. Yeah, there's some dodgy Bitcoin treasury companies. It's more the Bitcoin side, but who's the evangelist for Ethereum? Tom Lee, crowd favorite. I'm not scared. It's literally just Tom Lee. Nobody else is scared. Nobody else has the balls or the ovaries to stick their neck out Charlie Kirk style and say, yeah, I'm getting in Ethereum. It tells you, man, we're climbing the wall of worry. Do you notice that? No one wants to come out and stick themselves out. That's translation for there's only strong hands here. Got nothing to worry about. All right, even though we're going to keep climbing the wall of worry. Something interesting to know as well, friends. When QT ended here, all right, this was zombie virus money printing. This is just something to think about, okay? QT ended, and in the next 6 months, okay, it's actually after QT ended, right here. Right, yeah, next 5 or 6 months, 4 out of 6 are green. That was interesting. And then you actually had what we call the DeFi season up here. So where we are today, December, 5 to 6 months, friends, that literally puts us somewhere like near June. If you were to complete the same ratio of how much it moved, it would be like an 80% move against Bitcoin between now and, say, June, okay? And you'd probably still have a lot of people sidelined as well because none of the moves would be that tremendously big at that point. Remember, people only want to come and really get excited and buy highs as well. Bitcoin, respecting my channel of friendship, but we're going to need more time just to witness. I'm watching everybody, friends. I want to see how everyone's feeling. It's kind of funny. This is the thing, friends. Let's say Trader Main, for example, friends. Let's play some Pumpy G music. Let's play it for Trader Main. Let's play it for all of us. Trader Main. He's ready to get out on a lower high. But This is what I've noticed. Him and actually blockchain backup. They go, okay, it's probably cooked. Trader Main's like, he's given a bit of hope. Maybe it doesn't get cooked, but everyone's cooked. But they're all convinced that if Bitcoin gets to like 95 to 98, there will be euphoria. People, they will believe, everyone will say, we're back, we're back, we're so back, we're so back. I'm not so sure about that. I'm not so sure about that. Because, and look, I don't know, we have to wait and see, right? I've seen, and you've seen, many comments, YouTube, Twitter, crypto KOLs, influencers, all of them, saying this rally is going to fail like all the others. They're expecting a rally. All right, friends, just to let you know from the Wall Street cheat sheet, this rally will fail like the others. It means, yeah, this thing might be cheap because of some oscillators, but don't bother buying because you're going to be getting out soon anyway. It's not worth it. That's what it means. It means they're not getting in. Only strong believers are getting in. All right. This channel of friendship as well. Let's just draw these now, friends. You might ask, Sommi, what happens if we actually, let's say we break down. Okay, then we break down. There we go. We're happy? We break down. We go to this 50-week moving average, 4-year moving average, which is a 200-week moving average. And Bitcoin is anywhere from 45 up to 65. Okay. We give up. That's it. Give up. All right. There you go. Everybody who's sold now, they're going to be buying back in. So that's what would happen. Okay. We've accepted reality already. No crying in the casino. This is the risk we take. The risk we take is that there's just a lot of things I'm looking at, man. It doesn't look as it does. I know because we're long. It just doesn't look like we're in a dangerous area. It doesn't feel like it, man. But then you might say, oh, but we're complacent. But bro, I just want to ask you something, dude. Why would the Bitcoin dominance be chilling under here? Why would it be doing that? I really think altcoins have run out of their bulk of their sellers. I think finally, after 4 years, they've run out of the bulk of their sellers, right? You're not getting 0% interest rates. You're not even getting QE. You're not getting any of these big, fantastical stuff. Besides, you have all these ETFs and treasuries and stuff launching BTC. You're not getting your candy, your rainbow and candy. You're not getting them. So what are you here for? Ask yourself. The people who are holding now, what are you here for? You must really believe in it, man. All right? That's really the ultimate conclusion for this. Remember, the PMI, still low, friends. I hope you have an appreciation. I do appreciate and I do love you. You're always welcome here. When I show you this black swan, friends, I want you to remember as well some of this key OG Your Friend Sommi stuff. Things can be cheap based off price, and they can also be cheap based off time. Okay? Altcoins are actually cheap on both accounts. They're cheap on the ratios, which is the prices. They're cheap on time. No matter how I look at it, so low. Way undervalued. And yeah, they were undervalued 20 months ago in March 2024. They were still undervalued when we had the first green monthly MACD flip from the OTHERS-BTC, and then we had 20 months of pain. But I hope we've learned from this. I really do hope we make it out of here. But you know what? Okay, if next year's bad, whatever. If they want to delay us 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 years, 100 years, we're never allowed to win for whatever reason. Okay, dude, whatever. Bring it. Okay, and what I'll do is, friends, I'll be lighting a candle as well, proof of candle lighting. I do this literally every single day for us. So we've already accepted it, friends. I find it funny that a lot of the people on the sidelines are saying, you're in denial. You're all in denial. I don't know what they're talking about, dude. I haven't seen a single person in denial. All I've seen is, I've seen actually, friends, listen to ourselves. What is everyone saying? Everyone's actually saying, man, it's really going to be crap for another year. Oh, well, that's what everyone's saying. Okay, that's not euphoria dangerous. Everyone's long. When you're in there, friends, when everyone's too much long, okay, the thought of quoting a lower price, they're like, no, can't go down that low. Impossible. He'll never let it happen. Donald Trump will never let it happen. Friends, this is the funny part. Imagine we do get the Bitcoin Strategic Reserve and the US government starts buying Bitcoin and Bitcoin's 130. I want you to think about that. Isn't it quite realistic to imagine a scenario where Bitcoin is trading at 210 and then people are saying, okay, the government started buying at 130, it can't go below there. It's literally impossible. It's the United States, dude. They'll never let it go below that price. That's a scenario you're worried about. You're like, whoa, you're all saying Bitcoin can't go below there? Are you sure you want to? We're not saying that, dude. Is anybody saying we can't go to 55K. Dude, literally 98% of these KOLs are saying not only can we go there, we are going there. They've priced it in. Okay, so this type of environment, I want to be long through. I want to be long. I want to be long. We're long together. This is the Ethereum chart. I like how it's come back to this big monthly order block as well. Ethereum friends as well. The ETH-BTC ratio tells us a lot. ETH-BTC is similarly and spookily acting like it's uptrend back in 2020. It is wild, friends. This is another thing I want you all to know. I can show similarities from every single year, 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021. Yeah, we've actually got similarities from all of them. The QT ending, how high the interest rates are, you know, hiking stuff. Yeah, there's a lot of things out here. Friends, look at this. This is ETH-BTC now. It's starting to look exactly like this chart here, man. It's starting to look like that. So hopefully it does continue to hold on this weekly super trend here, and I can guarantee you literally no one's long this. Not this guarantee events. I'm just telling you, I'm seeing flood the crap out of Ethereum still constantly. I'm just seeing events, everyone saying it's still a full-on abomination. And honestly, we like seeing that. That means they're, honestly, man, that's, when you see stuff like that, that calls for V reversal movements back. Yeah, when you see stuff like that. Okay. This is all my macro charts put together, and I have the key legend here for you, friends. So we have OTHERS-BTC, and the yellow, we have ISM PMI, which is low. Okay, low and low and low. And you also have the copper gold ratio, which is also low as well. Do you see this? All of these things are down, 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 down. You see that? The only thing that went up, what went up, friends? You have BTC here. Why did BTC go up? Well, let me show you the global liquidity. There you go. Okay, global liquidity has been rising. You see that? Global liquidity had been rising over time. BTC went up. I want you to focus as well. This is what, just so you know this, okay? This is what actually makes Bitcoin special, so you can see this. And I've made this cute little boxy for you. Do you see this period of events? Let's actually just extend that down. Do you notice how the global M2 from this point, global M2 has gone up, okay, and BTC has gone up, and the ISM and other like business cycle stuff is still down. All right. This is what makes Bitcoin special. Yep. It doesn't need the business cycle to go up. That's what actually makes it statistically special. It is able to rally in our bear market in crypto because it has believers. Because when currency gets printed, there are people who get the currency units and they bid Bitcoin. That's very special, which means they're not doing it just because they feel like it. Okay, but now here's another thing. Bitcoin's got such high correlation to the NASDAQ, it could be that the players who buy the NASDAQ with their printed currency also get BTC, which is actually what we want. Okay, it is what we want. Yeah, but altcoins don't follow that. Yeah, altcoins, as we know, altcoins, when the global M2 liquidity goes up, you don't have these sophisticated players, who are bidding altcoins. Okay, altcoins require those currency units to eventually seep into Main Street economy. Then we get the PMI rising and people are in the mood for altcoins. Okay, that's what it is. Okay, altcoins are more risky, but the upside is tremendous. And I know I've been bullish for a long time just because I don't care, man. Price is what you pay, value is what you get. I didn't know it was going to be 36 months of PMI. I don't give a crap. They're cheaper now. It's literally cheaper now. They've never been cheaper. Okay, 36 months PMI, bad, right? Another thing about the altcoins as well, whilst everybody is calling for the death of them, you can name a KOL friends are calling for the death of them. Okay, when I see that, I'm like, bro, so you think copper gold's going to stay down forever? You think that the PMI is going to stay down forever? You think all of these things like Main Street is never ever going to recover? Wow, what a bet to take. But it's not what the bet that they're taking. It's because they've seen red monthly candles, so they expect them to continue, okay? And if there ever wasn't more of a sign from the universe, remember, friends, even with gold, retail lined up to buy the top of this gold. And you know what? I hope gold keeps going up. I really do. I really do hope gold keeps going up. I know we're expecting some rotation, but we want that, man. Gold's 30 trillion, dude. Gold is 30. Gold is 30 trillion. Please stay here. I never wanted to go down, dude, because, friends, rising gold lifts the product market fit, the viability of crypto. Because gold is a network. It's an analog network, analog, okay? And crypto is a digital form of that. I want you to think about the next fence. Think about the next 30 years of kids, okay? Are they becoming more digital or less? Okay? Are they playing with their Game Boys more? Or are they driving their wooden car to go see one of those olden black and white movies, kiss the girl goodbye, right? And then say, ram, bam, thank you, ma'am, to people on the street. Okay? And tip the shoe shine kid. We don't live in those days anymore. That was a long, long, long time ago. It's a digital world now. Digital. We're becoming more digital. Friends, whenever you see tokenization and stuff, you always see this in the news. Tokenization, real world assets. That is digitizing everything. It's kind of funny, you know, stocks, you think of them as digital already, but not they're not actually really digital because you got some crappy database where your name is registered for New York. That's basically where everything is. Okay, it's just like one little electronic PC. Yeah, it is. It's not global. It's not made into a network by that point. But they're all happening now. It's literally all happening now. Crypto's winning. Now there are a bit of concerns out here because it's hard. We've never seen this before. Okay, friends, we have MicroStrategy BTC ratio dumping. Okay, now it's back to it's actually below the MNAV. Okay, this is something you're like, okay, this looks bad, right? But then I showed you ETH-BTC on the way up. All right, and I've shown you Bitcoin dominance on the way down. Okay, that's why everyone's thinking, hey, is the cycle over because Bitcoin's going down? And that's why, like, friends, you know, if you've got to override the system, this is going to be the time to override the system and enjoy your lollipops. Where you think, hey, Bitcoin follows global M2 more. But the business cycle, altcoins take over. Okay? So, is it possible the biggest bulk of the global liquidity rising, right, is now done and then the business cycle takes over? You know, friends, Mick Hovell, which I'll show you, who I made many videos about. Mick Hovell on the right-hand side, friends.
Okay, so Michael.
So here he is.
Peaks. Now, what I would argue is that, you know, notwithstanding the fact that there's been absolutely no economic cycle to speak of really since the end of COVID.
Well. So literally, what a coincidence. I just pinged it right to this random point of the thing, and he said, oh, there's been no economic cycle. Okay, so Mick Hovell, friends, he's basically the godfather of the liquidity in the balance sheet. So in a nutshell, what he did is he grabbed all the US Fed and government accounts, he pulled them out, and he sat there meticulously, I guess, with his firm, and they calculated, okay, this account's an asset, this one's a liability. He did the pluses and the minuses and did everything together, and he tracked it, and he tracked the number over time, and then they plotted it with stocks and assets. And he goes, oh, you guys are just print money and this thing just goes up. Okay, that's pretty much the global liquidity, what we call the global liquidity cycle. Okay, so he was able to discover that the US Fed, right, they print money, their asset collateral goes up, they just press buttons to go up, and then that seeps somewhere into the economy, they acts as collateral for T-bills and the euro dollar, and then it seeps into the banks, and he was able to see this flow, and he goes, oh, the money is moving around, and then the stocks actually go up, and there's a big correlation, right? So what does he actually say about next year, friends? If you watch this, actually, okay, this is quite a strange thing. So he says, obviously, 40 cycles are dead, but, you know, he's talking about liquidity. This is the thing, friends. This chart here. So this is it, okay? In a nutshell, he believes, and he shows that the bulk of the global liquidity printing is done. Most of it's done. We're at the end of it. Okay? We're slowing down. Okay? We're not at the very, but we're near the end. He goes, however, Main Street haven't eaten. He goes, so it is possible, and this happens in the data as well. This happens in the past where stocks don't do that well for a while. Wall Street goes sideways and Main Street takes over. Okay. Now, this is the funny part, right? As I'm watching this, okay, I was watching this, friends, and because like I'm looking at this, I'm like, oh crap, the liquidity cycle's over, but it hasn't even gone to like Main Street. Like the people getting robbed, and obviously that's why, friends, I show you Sommi's guiding forces of crypto. Okay, you're very, very welcome. I show this to you here, right? You know, when I show you the PMI and stuff. That's why I write this at the top, friends, so you can see up here Sommi's guiding forces of crypto. You can really see it here, right? Bitcoin follows global M2, which is actually expected to slow down, not go super hard next year. And altcoins and Ethereum follow the business cycle, which is true, which is what we've seen by the data. When Main Street, when people out there start eating, okay, they don't come and buy Bitcoin. They just go straight to alts. So it's almost like what's actually happening is, friends, I know they're all digital Ponzi's. They are, but there seems to be a different labeling and branding of Bitcoin and altcoins, which you know, but like people are really seeing, they're treating Bitcoin like a global liquidity saving storage. They're treating Bitcoin like gold, okay, with global liquidity. Obviously, it's more volatile than gold. They're treating it kind of similar, okay? And they're treating Ethereum and altcoins like, obviously, super punty, speculative, high-risk stuff, okay? Now, obviously, you're like, hey, we could have figured this out before. Yes, but it's funny that everybody's become so despondent. Everyone's thinking, man, like, is these things ever going to go up? They have no value, okay? Which is totally wrong. I think it's totally wrong. Main Street will eat, friends. Like Main Street, they elected Donald Trump. Like, of course, like they got to get their pays. They have to get their pay. I mean, like you got to bribe them. You need the midterms the next year. You got to give them $2,000 stimulus check. Okay, you have to. You have to fudge these numbers. There has to be some sort of friendship, especially in the housing market as well. So now, friends, I want to give you another update which has come out just recently. This chart shows VC capital invested. All right. So if you look at this, friends, crypto VC capital invested, their deal count, I want you to pay attention to this. This is done by the quarter. This is the second highest deal count since FTX collapse. All right. The only time we had a higher one was, believe it or not, Q1 here after Trump won. As Trump won, the January, as soon as he won, that was the peak. And then we actually dropped down. So as you can see, friends, look at this. So crypto VCs are going up. It's accelerating again. This is great. All right. Look at this. It went higher, lower, and now it's accelerating. So what I've found is, this is, when you look at it all together, actually, I've shown this for you as well. You remember, the ISM? That's why sometimes there's forward-looking indicators for the ISM. Unfortunately, they're very volatile, right? But the Kansas City PMI, I think it's them, and these Michigan research ones, there's two data points. They've got very close correlation with the PMI. They've just come out with a big uptick. Okay, so the things that normally kind of lead the PMI, right, as well with the PMI, what they do is, friends, the manufacturing ones, I think like they just get like the leaders. They get ones that statistically usually lead the rest. I think there's like 52 states. Maybe there's like the top 5 manufacturing states. They make them into like a mini index as like the leaders of the pack. And they're on the uptick, okay, which is interesting. It's just surprising. They're on the interesting. So what could it be? Look, I don't know, man. It's weird. It's kind of like, the market's pricing in, rates coming down, QT ending, Donald Trump saying you're going to get a $2,000 stimulus. You think like, but they haven't got the money yet. Yeah, but like it motivates people. They start pricing stuff in. They start thinking, oh, things are going to get better, right? Perhaps the market is able to get a bid due to the US Fed ending QT on December 1st. So that might be contributing to what we call like the relief rally as well. But friends, everyone wants this rally to fail. I mean, look, friends, this is literally all the videos you ever see. This dip is a trap. The market hasn't even unraveled yet. The real crash is about to drop. I see these videos over and over and over again. People refuse to believe it. Like, it's really, friends, it's coming down to like... yeah, man, like we're really wedging everyone here. Like, what do you believe in? Is random 4-year cycle time, or that Main Street's going to get their time to shine? Yeah, in the past, friends, when they've printed money, Main Street gets to eat pretty short after. This is the longest period in history where Main Street, which it's literally all of you. It's literally you, your family, your friends. You got friends at plumbers, handyman, some of you mechanics. Some of you just slugs out there, just like, crawling along the fence out here, leaving your trail. Yes, everyone knows that everyone's been spinning their wheels. This is the longest time. But if you ask Major Loser Powell, it's for a reason. It's because inflation is stubbornly high. They're like, we want to get it down, want to get it down, want to get it down. And then there's people who are like Treasury Scott Bessent. They're basically saying, man, inflation's already gone. What are you talking about? This data's dog shit. Which is actually true. The data and the stuff they're using needs to be redone. Check this out, friends, as well. Since October 10th, Tether and Circle have minted $16 billion for Tether and USDC. Okay? So, Oh, he have Sommi fan token. The stablecoin super cycle is here among us. You got to think about this, friends. This is obviously contributing to the lifeblood of crypto. Now, of course, these things can retract and go down. There was like $1.5 billion contraction of that, but it makes you think. It makes you think about people still coming in with billions of dollars. You won't see any bear covering that, by the way, because I have to get that myself from information. I'm like, that's big news. Why isn't everybody else covering? And you go, oh, because they've sold. That's why. It's because they've sold and they want it to go down. I also want to show you this, friends, as well. So many crypto KOLs. So this is a very standard thing. So you have Ben Copen out here calling for the 200-week moving average period to come. And you know what, friends? It could be right. I mean, he's been right for the whole time coming up to this point. But I'm here playing for the future. Okay, I'm here playing for the future. And navigating this game is really tough, friends, because the market can really convince you you are so right, no point to change, makes you miss opportunity all the time. As well, friends, so I just want to show you, like, everybody just does squiggly lines, okay? Everyone does squiggly lines. And friends, I've seen it so many times. People put their faith in someone. They're like, hey, man, you're going to stay hot forever, and then they're not. And they're not. You've also got to think about your opportunity cost here. And for the past 2 years, by the way. Because you got to think, like, friends, look, imagine being in Zcash. You're watching everybody else saying, oh, wow, you cost me money. You cost me money because I'm holding Zcash. Zcash pops 20x in 90 days. Game over. Goodbye. You can't go back in time. You can't go back and buy it $40. You literally cannot. So what do? Nothing. You got to pray that you find the next opportunity. Did you learn? Okay. You don't have to go through that pain. You can learn. You can learn from the wise. I just want to show you, friends, so a lot of the time, it's possible these lines don't hit. So he's showing Ben Copen calling for $500 or $600 ETH of the past as well. Showing him calling for $39,000. Friends, do you remember this? This was on, this was in 2024 after the Japan yen carry. So it's calling for $39,000 Bitcoin. As we know, it didn't happen. And then we have another one as well. Oh, wow, look at this. This is from 2023. Bitcoin was 24K. And he believed, okay, Bitcoin's going down and going to crash to 14,000. And it literally just went up here and went up only. So, well, there you go, man. Like, this, I was actually, to be honest, I'd never seen them. I was like, wow, there's like 3 out of 3 of like these major down calls. But you got to think about, friends, people only build, look, the clout gets built because you see alts down, right? But it's no different to Peter Schiff, man. Peter Schiff says, oh, look at these. This stock's going down and this thing's a Ponzi and this and this. If you just hold gold the whole time, it'll be fine. There is merit to that. But you know that, dude. You know that. Your growth rate is way lower, man. It is way lower. But you can't go back and rewind time. I found this fascinating as well, friends. Check it out. Alession Rastani. So Alession is a big financer, crypto KOL. Look at him, friends. He is observing his crypto retail audience being ultra bearish to 2026. Friends, let's read Alession what he says here. You won't believe what a lot of people are posting right now in the comment section of my Bitcoin analysis videos. Just look at these beauties and weep or laugh. Is this a contrary indicator in your view? By the way, I have not included their names as I don't wish to embarrass them. Friends, you're going to absolutely flip your flapjacks when you see the comment section here. Bitcoin's going to 10 to 30K. I'm buying back in again at 16K. Sell, sell, sell. Prediction, $0 or $1. I hope Bitcoin falls to $100. Crypto are an illusion. It's a fiction. Just sell. Let's park at 50K BTC. You haven't seen nothing yet. This time is different. Okay, it's kind of funny. They're saying this time is different while saying everything's going to go down. Like, that'd be saying like this time's the same. But yeah, but this is like all over, man. It's all over. Also, look at Roberto Kiyosaki. I said call an ambulance. So Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad Poor Dad. Biggest crash in history is starting. In 2013, I published Rich Dad's prophecy predicting the biggest crash in history was coming. Unfortunately, that crash has arrived. It's not just the US, Europe, and Asia crashing. AI will wipe out all the jobs. Also, you got to remember, friends, he made one of the most disgusting tweets for me. Man, such a snake, man, Robert Kiyosaki. What a snake. To do this post, he came out and he said, ha, 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 I sold Bitcoin at $90,000. I sold it. I made 2.25 million. He was literally tweeting that he was buying it under 100K and it's going to $1 million and stuff. Oh, it's going much, much higher, 400K, 500K. And then he's after it was when it was trading at 81K, he said, oh yeah, by the way, I sold at 90, ha ha ha, 10% higher to make it look like a genius. Grant Cardone replies, you published it. You didn't write it. It was a parable. There was no rich dad, probably no gold. You've never bought real estate. You've never bought a real company, no employees, and you've been calling for a crash for 30 years. Real recognize real, and I don't recognize you. Never getting rid of X. Boom! What a fluffy microphone drop right there. So Robert Kiyosaki fans, he doesn't use log charts as well, so he was always using the linear charts. So we're all in this together, okay? Yeah, it's been very, very tough. It has been very tough. We're gonna go push through December. Okay, let's see if Santa gives us any cups of orange juice for Christmas. If you've been a good boy or good girl. And then obviously December's gonna be the real final year of the snake, the final boss. Okay, coming up that part. And yeah, it'll be really nice if OTHERS-BTC has started to curl up from that point. Like, you got to think, right? Even if they do give us a year of the snake in Feb, like, you don't think, like, if we start to see these other signals that, like we know, man, we know, we've accepted. All right, Bitcoin goes down 35, 45, 55, 75, whatever, dude. Do it. Okay, we don't care. But it's funny, everybody who's sold, they give 0% probability that Bitcoin's trading at 130,000 in 90 days. You know? They're like, no, I can't go and break the all-time high. Imagine it does, dude. What are they going to do then? No one has a plan. No one has a plan. Actually, no one has a plan. What if Ethereum breaks $5,000 before Bitcoin breaks its all-time high? No one's got a plan for that. They don't even know how to react. What do? You know, you're going to look at the ratios. What do you get in? Is the mean altcoin and alt season is back? All right? You only get this luxury if you're long and strong with me. Okay? But if it goes down, whatever. We're still going to keep on believing. This ETH-BTC ratio will be very telling, okay? As we move on from here, we're watching the price action. Hopefully this ETH-BTC ratio holds 0.033. The key critical level is 0.055, okay? That is where the Ethereum spot ETF actually came. So that will be nice, friends, if we go back up here and we start to settle. Man, it's been one hell of a believer cycle. Like, subscribe, belly button, or catch you soon.